From Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I am Adeshawa Josh. Our top stories tonight. Rivers State lawmakers declined Governor Siminalayi Fubara's invitation, give condition for meeting him. Former Governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai, defects the Social Democratic Party after dumping ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. And Russia expels British diplomats for alleged spying. The latest in a series of tit-for-tat diplomatic rebukes.
In business, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board secures 20% refinery stake, strengthens corporate governance.
And in sports, 7 members of a medical team that treated football legend Diego Maradona before his death to be tried for homicide.
Welcome, everyone. Tonight begins right now. We begin tonight in Rivers State, where the political impasse in the House of Assembly appears to have reached a tipping point. On Monday, Martin Amaluwe, the Speaker of the House, and the 26 lawmakers who reportedly dumped the PDP for the APC, refused to honor an invitation to meet Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The Martin Amaluwe-led lawmakers rejected the invitation, which they say was conveyed through social media, and called for a proper official letter from the governor. The move follows the Supreme Court's ruling in favor of the Martin Amaluwe-led House as the legitimate lawmakers of the Assembly. The invitation was signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Tammy Danagogo, and was meant to address issues like the Assembly's sittings, allowances, and the presentation of the 2025 budget. Tensions remain high as the lawmakers' 72-hour ultimatum to the Rivers State Electoral Commission chairman expires on Monday. Meanwhile, the Rivers State House of Assembly has issued an arrest warrant for the chairman of the Senate Independent Electoral Commission, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, for failing to honor the lawmakers' invitation. The Assembly had issued a 72-hour ultimatum to the RSEC chairman and his commissioners to give account of last year's local government election. Instead, Justice Enebeli went to court to restrain the legislators. Meanwhile, 3 out of the 8 commissioners of the state's electoral umpire had tendered their resignation over the weekend following the invitation.
We've taken enough from you, Mr. Speaker. I support Enebeli should be arrested. It's high time we arrested him. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, those for 24. Those against, nil. Abstention, nil. By these voting honorable members, this House has therefore resolved that Justice Enebeli and other commissioners who failed to appear before the 10th Rivers State House of Assembly will now be compelled by this House via a warrant issued under the seal of the Speaker to the Nigeria Police to bring them here to answer questions, and this will be done immediately so that the needful can happen. Rivers people can know what has been happening to their funds and what has been happening in the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Clerk, what next do we have?
Well, Jide Ologun, a constitutional lawyer, joins me in the studio to unpack the ongoing political situation in Rivers State. Thank you so much for making the time to show up tonight in the studio.
You're welcome.
Is Governor Fubara in a political quagmire? I'm asking this because of the Supreme Court's ruling in favor of the Amaluwe-led House, which makes them now in the majority and now have the power for impeachment if they so do choose.
Absolutely. And the battle has gone on for a long time, political, legal, and now he's been put in a tight corner by the final decision of the Supreme Court. Since 1963, when we became a republic, Supreme Court has remained the highest court in the land. And it is in trying to manage the very tight situation that he's inviting the erstwhile members of the House of Assembly that have now been reinstated by the decision of the Supreme Court for a conference to carve a way forward. And it appears that he has been ignored, in pursuit of the political battles, and it's a very tight one for him as we speak.
The Amalue-led House is overreacting? I mean, throw back to the events of the last 2-3 months and way back. Do you think they're overreacting? Do you think they're doing too much?
For politicians, you cannot claim that they're overreacting. It's like now having your pound of flesh. But again, when you put the interest of the citizens on the front burner, then you want to go the way of dialogue, because at the end of the day, that is what will bring development, because as we speak right now, the tension is high in Rivers State. Some are apprehensive that as part of fighting back, the Matthew Amewule-led House of Assembly may want to impeach the governor, which initially also led to all the battles we have seen, you know, and that some are threatening to attack the pipelines again if that happens. And the tension is quite high, so we expect that the political stakeholders and the leadership in Rivers State will come in to ensure that the ongoing conflict is resolved in the interest of the development of the state.
How do you interpret the ruling of the Supreme Court that said that there is no evidence, legal evidence whatsoever, to support the alleged defection of the 26 lawmakers, or shall I say 27, from the PDP to the APC? Because the story, if you flip back a couple of pages into this crisis, was that they've defected to the APC. And, you know, the back and forth about if there's no problem in the party, you're not allowed to defect. And, I mean, it goes on and on. Now, we can't say, I mean, do we have proof that these members actually said they had defected to the APC? And what is the implication of that right now on the Rivers State political crisis? Are they members of the PDP now? Either way, they have the numbers, they can still impeach the governor, but I want to hear what you have to say.
By virtue of the decision, they are members of the PDP, and actually when I heard about the decision, I felt like I was thrown back into the classroom in law school that I left in 1989, because there had been precedents in the past touching on this case of defection. You have the case of Abegunde and the Ondo State House of Assembly, where it was clearly stated that you stand to lose your seat if the trouble in the party is not a crack from top to bottom. And there are other judicial decisions, even coming from the Supreme Court. But this time around, it's quite sensitive. Something happened in the course of this case, which is some parties had to withdraw some of the processes before the court. And if you go by Section 131 of the Evidence Act, you need to present facts to the court and prove those facts. Don't forget that at a point, even the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces invited Wike and Fubara to a meeting, and some of the resolutions is that some matters will be withdrawn. And the Supreme Court focused on what is presented, you see, which I'm not here to fault. But now, I can only say that by virtue of Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, the National Assembly and the House of Assembly at the state level are to make laws for the peace, orderliness, and good government in Nigeria. By virtue of Section 5, the President is endowed with the executive power to manage the country. And by virtue of Section 6, the judiciary to interpret. So interpretation has come now from the judiciary. And I must say that different lawyers have different interpretations and reactions to this decision of the Supreme Court. But by and large, the Supreme Court cannot override itself. So perhaps in a subsequent, you know, you will still have the case of Imo State that has refused to go away. Several questions that people are asking. But when it comes to litigation, it's about how you drive your case, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now, with nowhere for Fubara to take the case to, do you foresee a political solution to this impasse? I mean, political analysts are calling Governor Fubara's meeting an extension of an olive branch. You've also alluded to
Exactly, absolutely. And that's why I'm calling on the stakeholders, because, you see, in some battles, you actually don't have winners, particularly when you consider national development, because now the fear is still there, which is about impeachment. But I can let us know, by virtue of Section 188 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, impeaching a governor takes about 8 steps. So it's not an easy thing like that. And with the threat coming from some stakeholders, I doubt if this nation is prepared to have any turmoil in Rivers State right now, even though Rivers State is reckoned to be a state that has been used to political storms, from years past. So I would be appealing to the stakeholders, particularly when he's extending the olive branch, that let's see where we can go, because basically, like I said, many are still not comfortable with this issue of defection and the constitutional provisions, you see, except now that some procedural issues have been brought in. So at the end of the day, if this issue is not well managed, some are even apprehensive that may lead to declaring the state of emergency, because some schools of thought are also on the page that the political party where Wike is now active, even though he's a member of PDP, is interested in taking over Rivers State. In fact, the chairman of APC has spoken to Fubara to either resign or be impeached. So you find all these.
That's a bit messy, because it was the chieftain that you're talking about. Tochara, is it? I'm mixing the name. Yes, I'm mixing the name up a little bit. I beg your pardon. But he's a chieftain, and the chairman, the Rivers State APC chairman, has called him out to say, "Listen, that's not what we're about. It's not your place to start ringing the bell of impeachment for these people. It's a constitutional case, and we, quite frankly, we're dissociating ourselves from that statement." But it's a very tricky issue, and we're going to be keeping an eye on it as it evolves. And as you've rightly mentioned, there is a lot at stake.
Exactly.
The earlier this is resolved, the better.
And it can be resolved.
Yeah,
and it can be.
It's politics. You'll be surprised what we will hear tomorrow. Jide Ologun, constitutional lawyer, thank you so much for coming into the studio to speak to us tonight.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
God bless Nigeria.
Still on politics, Senator Natasha had approached the Federal High Court. She has approached the Federal High Court seeking an order restraining the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges of the Senate from investigating her. At the day's proceedings, there were arguments about whether the defendants had been served notices or not. But after going through the affidavits of service before the court, Justice Egwatu confirmed service of all processes on all defendants. This led to the counsel for the third defendant, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, to pray for an adjournment for all processes to be harmonized. Other counsels supported the move, stressing that this would facilitate an accelerated hearing at the next adjourned date. In his ruling, Justice Egwatu adjourned the matter to March the 25th, 2025, and ordered that all the relevant processes should be served on the parties before the adjourned date. Coming up tonight, celebrated playwright and famous author of Sizwe Banzi is dead. We have details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching tonight on News Central. I'm Adeshawa Josh. A reminder of our top stories. Rivers State lawmakers declined Governor Siminalayi Fubara's invitation, give condition for meeting him. Former Governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai, defects to Social Democratic Party after dumping ruling All Progressive Congress APC. Russia expels British diplomats for alleged spying, the latest in a series of tit-for-tat diplomatic rebukes. We're still talking politics. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has now defected to the Social Democratic Party, SDP. This follows his resignation from the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. In a statement on Monday, March the 10th, El-Rufai said that APC had strayed from its founding ideals and failed to address internal concerns. El-Rufai, who played a major role in APC's formation and electoral victories, now believes the party no longer aligns with his values. El-Rufai highlighted his achievements as Kaduna governor and called on supporters to join him in the SDP. Adewale Adebayo is the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election, and he's an attorney at law. He joins me now from Kaduna to discuss this story. Thank you so much for joining us. My first question is, what did you tell him? What did you tell Malam El-Rufai that made him join the SDP?
Basically, that the SDP is a party of talents, and he has demonstrated over the years that whatever public assignment is given to him, he's done it meritocratically, and he's done it in a way that is a sign that he is a great intellect, and he has energy, and he has passion, and there's no better time for Nigeria now to pull all the intellectuals together to try to solve these annoying problems that we carry from generation to generation. And we thought that it should come to the SDP, and we explained our processes in the SDP. It's a party of strong institutions, and it's a party where you have to just get used to following the rules, and our processes are fair and reasonable, and it should come in. And this country needs to be rescued at this point, and he and many others have positively responded.
So tell me, Malam El-Rufai mentioned that there were internal crises in APC, and they haven't been addressed, and that's why he's joining, one of the reasons why he's joining SDP. Did he mention what those issues are, and is your party going to be free from similar issues? Because if SDP begins to have issues, perhaps, the same thing might happen.
Well, we know him. I've known him before he joined the APC, and he's been consistent in the areas where God has given him talent. When he worked with late Alhaji Zayed, when he worked with head of state of Salam Abubakar, when he worked in the BP for Obasanjo, when he worked in the FCT, there was no APC at that time. The same qualities that he had at that time are the same qualities that he has shown when he became governor of Kaduna State, in terms of infrastructure development, efficiency of government, and such like things. Those are the things that we discuss. We do not discuss APC and their problems. We don't belong to the APC. We've never liked the APC. So we don't want to be bothered about the problems of APC. And we hope that now that he has come to the SDP, he will stop talking about the problems of the APC. I assume that this is the last time he will talk about APC's problems. We are focused more on the problems of Nigerians and how to solve these problems. And El-Rufai is a great talent. It's not that I agree with him in every aspect of his politics, but when you see a person of talent, you have to use the talent for the good of the country. And he has a lot of these talents, and he's demonstrated his talents over time.
How do you intend to use his talent? How do you intend to deploy El-Rufai's talent ahead of the 2027 election?
One is in searching for more talents. Our party is a party that believes that our problems are in our heads, and that if we can put our heads together and try to understand the purpose of government, appreciate that our Constitution expects that we have a government that renders services, and that Chapter 2 of the Constitution is a sufficient guide towards good governance, and that our politics is bad. It's the politics of money, it's the politics that is bereft of talent, and that the way the political parties have been so disorganized, people who have talent but who have no money who are not occupying any big position. But how God has gifted them with solutions to our problems, they will never rise in politics. And that is why the SDP has made a difference. That he's coming to the SDP is an opportunity for us to attract more talent like him and to see that we start to talk nationalistically in the party and we try to find solutions. And we need efficiencies to deliver all the services that our people are lacking. So Nigerians are not excited about one governor, one big man joining your party. They will observe you and see whether your coming together has brought out solutions that are relevant to what is dealing with people on a daily basis. Electricity problems, poverty problems, insecurity problems, unemployment problems, not running governance effectively, in lack of capacity to deliver on any basic service. And these are the problems that the RFI knows how to solve. And if we give him a political environment that encourages discussion of those issues, not intrigues, not all these other brinksmanship that they are doing in politics, and that many more people will join the party. And that's what we want to achieve. And we hope that we can achieve it. We will work towards that, but we are not looking for a shortcut. And RFI is not a magic wand.
That's right.
That will solve all the problems of the SDP. What we're attracting many more people is because he's a newsmaker. But today alone, I'm in Kaduna now to receive people. And there's thousands of people coming, and I've been invited to cross several different places. And there are many people of great talent who have joined the party quietly. So and many more are coming. So RFI is a newsmaker. If he makes his tea and puts a cube of sugar, that's headline news. So he just happens to be someone that the media likes to follow. But we are building our party block by block, and we are more interested, even in young people joining the party, than famous people.
Before I let you go, I want to just cast you, I want to cast your mind back to the last election, and we do know that the SDP as well as the LP did throw up a lot of surprises that took votes away from the two ruling parties, but still was not an outing that could make the ruling party look at you as a real competitor. What strategies are you deploying, along with Malam El-Rufai, ahead of the election that will make you a real opposition to be feared by these two dominant parties?
Well, we don't want them to fear us. We just want them to lose elections to us and we form the government. But the key issue that is there is communication. The real power lies with the people. There's no power in El-Rufai, there's no power in me. There's no power in Tinubu. The power is with the people. And if we succeed, first in rallying our people together across all divides, and we're able to focus our people's minds on the problems that the country has and how easy it is to solve them if we put competent people in place. That communication, if it gets to the people, our performance will be far better than it was before. What happened to us in 2023 was that we were drowned out by all kinds of problems, all kinds of issues that don't have any effect on governance at the end of the day. 2023 elections were litigated not on the issues that we are dealing with now. They were litigated based on whose region it is, who turn it is, which region is going to produce president, which religion, and all sorts of things, and who has the bigger rally and all of that. Now, people have learned their lesson that it's not a game show, it's not Big Brother Africa. This is life and death. This is security versus insecurity. This is poverty versus prosperity. This is hunger versus good nutrition. This is illiteracy versus good education. So if we keep the conversation going on, then our people will listen to it. Right now, what is happening is that campaigns have not started. So any agenda you put forward now, people are going to listen. But once campaign starts, adverts are on, then people get distracted. People just follow the latest saga in town and all the crises. So we are trying to work against that and work towards a situation where people are listening to us people understand what we are saying, and people know the implication. That it's not about me running for president, whether you like me or not. It's not a popularity contest. It's about making a choice, whether you want to enjoy the fruit of the Constitution, whether you want to live well in your own country, or you want to live a country in which your children are running away. So once these conversations become the forefront, people will follow us and we're going to win the election. If, unfortunately, we drop the ball and the communication goes the other way, then it will be another wasted opportunity. We hope not.
I understand that it might be too early to ask if you have an idea of who the running mate is. That's assuming you would be the flag bearer come 2027. Are you looking at an Adebayo El-Rufai ticket?
That would be a very great ticket, but usually any day, anytime, any ticket in which you have El-Rufai is a good ticket, and there are other talents in the party, and there are other people coming in. So anybody who has an El-Rufai who doesn't use him is wasting his time. But there are other people also in the party. There are other people also who try to join the party. So but right now, the team we are forming is a team of members who want to grow our party, who want to iron the issues, and use the platform of the SDP to build a new political class, because the Nigerian people talk down on politicians. Oh, they are selfish, they are ruthless, they are unscrupulous, but democracy is defined by the quality of politicians that you have. So we want to recruit good people, people who have confidence in themselves, people who are patriotic, people who believe that there's a day of judgment and God is going to ask you questions about opportunities given to you, people who don't want to accumulate all the wealth in the world, people who are ashamed of what the country is today, and they feel that how can the black man not get it right when Nigeria is there? So when you bring all those people together, where whichever of them forms the presidential team, gubernatorial team, national assembly team, the people will be making the best choice out of already good people. The situation we have now is where the worst person just bubbles up to the top, because we are using money, we are using violence, we are using rigging, we are using all kinds of manipulation. So we want to change the narrative. We want to make sure that the platform is built. It's not going to be easy. Don't be surprised if you see the news tomorrow that El-Rufai and I are disagreeing, or we have some controversy between us. It's a warm welcome to him for today, and then we'll start to have that conversation. But the guiding light, the bond between me and El-Rufai is the manifesto of the SDP, chapter 2 of the Constitution, which is fundamental objective and directive principle of state policy. So anybody who is not pro-poor, who is not pro-people, is not going to be my friend.
Right.
So no matter how I like you personally. And that is where we're having that conversation, and it's a journey towards a more perfect political class for Nigeria.
As I let you go, this is the first high-profile political defection ahead of 2027. You kept saying that there will be more people joining. Are we likely to see more high-profile defection to your party, say perhaps from the PDP?
Many high-profile people already joined me quietly, but let's just say that the friends of the press, the people that the press likes to follow, many of them will join. But please don't underrate those who are joining the grassroots, hardworking people who may not be newsmakers, who are going to make the difference between victory for the Nigerian people and the situation we find ourselves now.
All right, then. I'm going to have to let you go now. Thank you so much, Adewale Adebayo, presidential candidate 2023 of the Social Democratic Party. He's also an attorney at law. Thank you for making it tonight.
Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Now let's shift to politics in Lagos. Not politics, actually, to other stories in Lagos. Residents of Ikosi-Ketu in Lagos have taken their grievances to the State House of Assembly, protesting what they describe as illegal demolitions of their homes. In February, these residents had pleaded with the government to intervene and stop the demolitions. Now, with reports that more buildings could be affected, they are demanding urgent action. Our correspondent Bernard Akede has the latest.
With placards in their hands and voices raised, the affected residents of Ikosi-Ketu stormed the Lagos State House of Assembly, desperate for government intervention. Their fears were reignited by rumors that bulldozers would soon return to demolish more homes.
They engaged us with a meeting with the Oba. So he said in his own statement that he's not ready to destroy anybody's house. Apparently some houses are already being destroyed already. So we told him that if it is the ratification you want, kindly let's negotiate it out. So at that point, he said no problem, that he had a meeting with the area commander. So after we went there, he discussed with the area commander, and when we got back, the Obalukos did not attend to us again. But instead, we started seeing some set of people in our environment taking pictures of and threatening us for a continuous demolition process.
The controversy began in February when several buildings were suddenly marked for demolition. Residents say they had little warning before the destructions began. They claim the Onikosi of Ikosi, the community's traditional ruler, is behind the exercise.
We woke up by 6 o'clock on 3 of February. We saw many police and people and Kabiyesi's son that they are starting to demolish our house. So they operate 3, 4, 5. So when it is on the 5, we were forced to call on Femi Said, which is governor to govern our constituency. And Femi Said came to come and stop the demolition.
News Central had previously attempted to get a response from the Onikosi, but there has been no official statement. Their protest eventually caught the attention of a government representative who assured them that their complaints will be formally processed. The residents were guided on the proper channel to present their petition, a process they immediately began.
Wọ́n ọ̀dẹ̀ fún wa ní notice kan tó dé, èmi ò sí ẹ̀sìn lé mi ṣiṣẹ́ ìrànṣẹ́ lọ. Ìgbà tí mo dé mo ti bá létọ́ ti condemn lé wa lọ. Ó pọ́n ayédèní mi ọkọ mi wà bí ó kù 2 weeks. Tí máa bímọ lọkọ mi jáde láyé ìta là ń sùn.
Ẹ ṣàánú mi o, ìgbà tí mo kó débẹ̀ yẹn mi pẹ̀lú Ọbọ̀lájì jọ ń ṣeré o, kò séèyàn ń bẹ̀, igbó ni o. Igbó ni nínú ra ni o. Pákó ni máa ń tẹ́lẹ̀ fi máa ń roko báyìí o. Mi à lè jókòó síta, ó dìgbà tí mo wá lè jókòó síta pé kí n tẹ̀ ní síta lálẹ́ kí n sùn. Ni wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n máa tún bẹ̀ ta o.
For now, all the residents can do is wait, hoping that their voices will be heard and that the government will act before more homes are lost. As the demolition controversy unfolds, affected families remain in limbo, unsure of what comes next. Their plea is simple: justice and a place to call home. In Lagos for News Central, I'm Bernard Akide.
Outside our shores, renowned South African playwright, actor and director Athol Fugard has died at the age of 92. Fugard, whose portrayals of intimate relationships burdened by oppressive racial separatism exposed the cruel psychological torment of apartheid to international audience, he died on Saturday night at his home in Stellenbosch, near Cape Town. His wife, Paula Fourie, confirmed his death after a cardiac event. Over a long and productive career, Mr. Fugard was both repelled and fueled by the bond he felt with his homeland. And for decades, he was considered subversive by the government, and at times, productions of his work with their integrated casts were considered illegal, and his co-workers in the theater were jailed. Russia has revoked the accreditation of 2 British diplomats over alleged intelligence activities, the latest in a series of tit-for-tat diplomatic rebukes that was quickly dismissed by London as baseless. The men intentionally provided false information, that's quote, by Russia when they received permission to enter the country, which violated Russian law, and the service discovered, quote, signs of carrying out intelligence and subversive work by the said diplomats that threatens the security of the Russian Federation. The pair were ordered to leave Russia within 2 weeks. The Russian Foreign Ministry summoned a representative of the British Embassy on Monday, and, quote, a strong protest was expressed to him. But Moscow and London have been trading diplomatic barbs for years, particularly since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 poisoned relations between the two countries. We're going on a break now. When we come back, we'll talk money, sports, and entertainment. Do stay with us. It's time for some money talks with Lekon, who joins me now from our business desk. Lekon, what do we have today?
Yes, I'll be telling you about a content board created in 2010 that sees to the promotion of indigenous local content in Nigeria's oil and gas sector for the benefit of Nigerians and businesses. I'll tell you more in Business News.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board has implemented a corporate governance framework to safeguard its 20% equity in a 100,000 barrels per day refinery project by African Refinery Group Limited and the NNPC Limited. Executive Secretary Felix Obe confirmed the investment followed rigorous technical and regulatory reviews. The initiative aligns with NCDMB's mandate to boost local capacity in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. The refinery, co-located with Port Harcourt Refinery Company, aims to drive job creation and economic growth, and the agreement was signed in Abuja, making NCDMB a key project stakeholder. Now, Nigeria has secured a $200 million deal with WeLight to deploy 400 mini-grids and 50 metro grids, expanding electricity access to rural and peri-urban areas. Supported by the World Bank and African Development Bank, the project aims to boost Nigeria's renewable energy share from 22% to 50%, benefiting up to 2 million people. WeLight, backed by Axion Group, Segencom, and Norfund, signed an MOU with Nigeria's Rural Electrification Agency CEO Romain Do Villeneuve, who actually called it a milestone for both Nigeria's electrification efforts and WeLight's expansion as a pan-African renewable energy provider. And now in equities market, the first trading day of the week at the Nigerian exchange witnessed a positive performance as investors traded nearly 365 million shares across more than 14,500 transactions. Now, the overall market indicator, that is the OSHA index, rose by 0.08%, and of course closed at 106,621.91, while market capitalization reached 66.77 trillion naira. And talking about sectoral performance, now 2 sectors ended bullish while 3 others stayed bearish. Now, looking at the 5 sectors, of course, I'm looking at the sectoral performance. We tracked that the banking sector actually gained 0.20%. Insurance followed with 0.87% in losses, while oil and gas, of course, equally saw a drop of 0.44%. Consumer goods is one of the picks that we tracked, 0.23%, and industrial goods 0.18%. So here you have it, how the Nigerian bourse performed as we tracked it. That ends Business News for tonight. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Welcome back. It's time for some sports updates with Udoka. Udoka, I'm reading right here that football legend Diego Maradona, the healthcare professionals who treated him will be going on trial. They'll be facing homicide trial. That's incredible.
Yeah, of course, for Diego Maradona, a lot of conspiracy theory surrounding his death, and for the medical staff that treated him, they are being charged for homicide, saying that Diego Maradona did not die a natural death. I'll give you more details shortly.
Can't wait to hear it.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Now, 7 members of the medical team that treated Argentine soccer great Diego Maradona before his death will go on trial for homicide starting on Tuesday in Buenos Aires. The case revolves around allegations that negligence by the healthcare professionals contributed to the World Cup winner's death in the year 2020 at the age of 60, which triggered an outpouring of grief in his native Argentina and across the world. Maradona suffered a heart attack at his rented house where he had been recovering from surgery to remove a blood clot on his brain weeks earlier. 7 of the 8 medical professionals who have been charged in the case, including Maradona's brain surgeon, psychiatrists, and nurses, are now standing trial for culpable homicide, a crime roughly commensurate with involuntary manslaughter. They deny wrongdoing but could face up to 25 years in prison. A 3-judge court will convene to hear arguments about the case on Tuesday. Moving on to the World Cup qualifiers now, Coach Gennaro Rohr has named a formidable squad for the 2026 qualifiers against Zimbabwe and South Africa later this month. The 23-man squad list has Remo Stars goalkeeper Sergio Bassa, as well as captain Steve Mweni, Junior Olaito, Tijani Mohammed, and Dosu Jadel. Tosin Ayegun and Cedric Huntonji missed out due to injury. Olivier Verdon was sanctioned by Raw, while Morocco-based defender Rabiu Sankamo and France-based Brandon Agonon have been recalled. Atalanta striker Candace Fogbe has also been handed his first ever team call-up. Benin, who are third in Group C with 7 points, are away to Zimbabwe on the 20th of March before they welcome South Africa to Abidjan 5 days later. And in the English Premier League, Mohamed Salah has been voted the PFA Fans Premier League Player of the Month for February, and after another standout month with Liverpool. Now, the Egyptian forward played a crucial role in Liverpool's unbeaten league run during the month, contributing 6 goals and 4 assists across 6 matches as the Reds secured 4 wins and 2 draws. Salah edged out competition from Beto, Matheus Cunha, Jean-Philippe Mateta, Yankuba Minte, and Jude Spence to claim the award. Currently, Salah leads the Premier League goal-scoring charts with 27 goals, while also topping the assist ranking with 17. In addition to this award, Salah is also the frontrunner for the Premier League's Player of the Month award for February, which is set to be announced on Friday, the 14th of March. Now, Manchester United co-owner Sergeant Ratcliffe has declared that some players in the team are not good enough and some are overpaid. Ratcliffe specifically mentioned midfielder Casemiro, striker Rasmus Højlund, goalkeeper Andre Onana, wingers Anthony and Jadon Sancho, who are on loan at other clubs, as players his regime had inherited. 72-year-old last year spent £1.3 billion for a 28.94% stake in the club in a deal which saw his company Ineos take control of football operations. In a recent interview where he made these revelations, he described team captain Bruno Fernandes as a fantastic footballer. The billionaire also gave his backing to Portuguese head coach Ruben Amorim, saying he expects him to be in charge for a long time. Now, Ratcliffe's words come after thousands of Man United fans organized the biggest protest against the club's ownership since he bought the club a near 30% stake last year before Sunday's Premier League fixture against Arsenal, which ended 1-1. Now, in basketball, Golden State Warriors superstar Steph Curry is joining his alma mater, Davidson College, as an assistant general manager. He is the first active player in major U.S. sports to take a front office job with an NCAA team. Curry, who completed his undergraduate degree in 2022, played 3 seasons at Davidson from 2006 to 2009. Curry and his wife, Aisha, will also be contributing to an 8-figure fund that will help the men's and women's team. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoku.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Nigerian Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Tems, her EP is doing good, according to Sam Dandy. But he has all the proof. He's got the latest in entertainment, and he joins me now. Okay, what were you telling me?
Now, this EP dropped in 2020, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for a project that has only 6 songs, it has about 600 million streams on Spotify alone. Now, this is big numbers for anybody.
Is it by any standard or by Nigerian standard?
Oh, to be honest, by
global
any standard. When you say Nigerian standard, she's one of one.
Okay.
But when you say global standard, of course, you know, there are
Like
people...
Beyonce standard.
Oh, God,
okay, all right.
not Beyonce.
Okay, I'm doing too much, okay.
I'll bring you all the big details about this and more right after this break.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Now, Thames is in the news. Her debut EP for Broken Ears has reached new heights, amassing over 600 million streams on Spotify alone. Now, talk about major influence on the global music scene. It has made history as the most streamed African debut EP on the platform and is now the third most streamed Nigerian female project of all times. Now, these milestones highlight the widespread recognition and impact of the EP across the world. Now, recall, Higher of the project was sampled for multi-platinum selling and Grammy-winning record Waits For You with Drake and Future. As for Broken Ears continues to dominate, it remains a pivotal work in African music history. Now, the EP's success reflects Thames' unique sound and talent, marking her as one of the most influential artists of her generation. Tracks like Higher and Free Mind debuted on Billboard's Hot 100, and Thames becoming the first female artist to do such a thing. I mean, we're super proud of Thames and all the accolades she continues to receive. And for Broken Ears is set to be remembered as a defining piece of music that has shaped the landscape of African and global music till today. We're going to move from that one. This one's also exciting. I know Adesho is kind of dancing on the side. It's
I'm a girl's girl, so hey, anything Thames does, I'm like, woohoo, go girl.
We're about to move to someone else who's doing great. I mean, in the music scene, right? To commemorate World or Commonwealth Day, King Charles III dropped a playlist in collaboration with Apple Music. He's called this one the King's Music Room. Now, the music playlist is curated to reflect the King's personal music taste and celebrate music from over the world. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Some of your faves made the list. Talk about Afrobeat to the world. Davido himself, Obio, made the list with Conte. Now, this is from Nigeria, of course. And then the iconic Bob Marley for Could You Be Loved, incredible singer Ray, legendary Diana Ross for Upside Down, and even the late Miriam Makeba. And can I mention Crazy in Love, Beyonce and Jay-Z? I can't imagine the King dancing to that one. But a 17-track playlist that reflects what the King listens to and the music that has brought him joy. Now, it's no doubt a blend of genres from disco to reggae and Afrobeats, and we can all agree with the King that music brings comfort, joy, and unity. Adeshoa, you know I'm going to ask you. 17 tracks. Isn't it a blessing to see Davido recognized in such a way?
I mean, you know, okay. I wonder what the anti-monarchists think about this, but...
Wow.
Yes, I said it out loud, but my point is I'd like to see the King actually rock to those songs, and it's not like some press release by some...
Well, fans like myself are hoping we see this happen every year. I want to see what he's listening to.
Yeah, I really want to see him dance to those things, then maybe I'll believe them. But then, don't take my words for it. Don't come for me either. I'm just saying what I think. Well,
that's much you can take on entertainment. Might even sound dandy.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that's the news tonight. Please send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on your screen. It's going to come right up. And also follow us on all social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, AVO TV, and on YouTube. From my team and I, thank you so much for watching. I'm Adeshoa Josh. I'll see you tomorrow.